February 24, 2023. Two dogs maul a San Antonio couple, killing an 81-year-old man.
It was terrible being there and not being able to do anything.
The owners arrested on felony charges, accused of training their dogs to be aggressive.
We're not these people that everybody's making us out to be.
And this was not the first time these animals attacked someone.
We do not feel safe in our own yard. We're constantly looking over our shoulder.
Dangerous dogs are not only terrorizing this West Side neighborhood, it's an issue that impacts the whole city.
There's not an area here where the resources aren't stretched.
News 4 San Antonio is holding city leaders accountable and digging deeper to get you answers on what's being done to end this dangerous dog trend.
Thanks for joining us this Thursday. I'm Jonathan Martinez.
And I'm Simone D'Alba. Here at News 4, we are committed to bringing you comprehensive, in-depth coverage on stories that matter to you.
And after a recent dog attack took the life of an elderly man and injured 3 others, we wanted to find out if enough is being done to keep your family safe.
Today, we are dedicating the next 30 minutes to peeling back the layers and covering every angle on dangerous dogs in Bexar County. A couple was viciously attacked February 24th. This was outside of a home on Depla, just off of Highway 90 and Couples Road. They were getting out of their vehicle to visit relatives when police say 2 dogs attacked Ramon and Juanita Najera. Firefighters were the first to arrive, one of them grabbing a pipe, another a pickaxe, just trying to fight the animals off. Videos show firefighters jumping on cars, swinging the weapons at the dogs, trying to avoid their grip.
By the time everything settled down, Ramon, an 81-year-old Air Force veteran, was dead. His wife, Juanita, severely injured. She's now out of the hospital and seeking damages for the events that led up to that date. A civil lawsuit has also been filed for the loss of companionship along with mental and physical anguish.
The 3 dogs involved in the attack were euthanized within 24 hours of the onslaught. The owners, Christian Moreno and Abilene Schneider, were arrested, now facing charges of dangerous dog attack resulting in death and injury to an elderly person. Police say they received tips that Moreno and Schneider were breeding the dogs, then using meat to train them to be aggressive. The dogs had attacked 2 other people in the neighborhood on 2 separate occasions.
And just last week, a woman was attacked by a dog near Olmos Elementary. Nellie Ramiro Martinez had just dropped her son off at school. As she was walking home along Smeltzer near Brookview, an unrestrained dog sank its teeth into her lower left leg. She's now recovering from that very injury. More on her story and how Animal Care Services is handling the case coming up at 6:30.
We wanted to know what is being done to prevent attacks like these from happening. On the state level, 3 bills have been filed by area lawmakers, all addressing issues with current dangerous dog laws. The proposed legislation would increase the criminal penalties related to attacks, allow animal control deem a dog dangerous without a victim's affidavit, and allow people to file those dog affidavits anonymously. Representative Liz Campos says she will honor the Najera family by pushing hard to make sure her bill passes.
I think we need to maybe increase the penalty, especially if there's a record of your dogs, being mischievous and being loose and attacking people. Because
if the proposal becomes law, it would change the classification of the crime from a Class C misdemeanor to a Class B. Dangerous dog owners would then face up to $2,000 in fines instead of only $200, and they could get up to 180 days in jail. With a Class C misdemeanor, you don't face any time behind bars.
The Animal Care Services has a 5-year strategic plan that they've been working on, but because of February's deadly attack, some of the actions have become more of a priority, with the focus on dangerous dogs and holding their owners accountable. Here are the 5 major parts of that plan. 1, support a safe community. Another, protect the safety and humane treatment of pets, support the placement of pets for life, create greater trust with the community, and finally, empower a healthy workforce. This was all presented last month to City Council in front of a packed house. Ramon Najera's son was there asking what more must happen to add better protection across the board to help prevent tragedies.
But when do we have to intervene with these type of people that are not abiding by our laws here in San Antonio, our policies? I'm here for solutions. I'm not here to put blame, but there was fault. There was a failure.
Now, many didn't seem pleased with the resources currently laid out and believe more needs to be done. So what exactly happens next? The council will continue to have discussions in the coming months about how to enhance the strategic plan. That plan is set to be adopted into the budget come September.
Many people questioning why Animal Care Services wasn't able to do more to prevent the tragedy. In our quest for accountability, we've learned that ACS is understaffed and they're overwhelmed with calls for service. We're told ACS added more than a dozen workers in critical areas during this last budget cycle, but they still have about 25 to 30 open jobs, including veterinarians. District 5 Councilwoman Terry Castillo said she realized ACS is working on a shoestring budget. This comes after learning ACS only has 3 to 4 officers patrolling our city on any given day.
Ensuring that ACS has the appropriate resources to effectively operate. And what that also means is hiring more ACS officers and making sure that ACS officers have the appropriate resources, from vehicles to technology.
ACS Director Shannon Sims is hoping pay raises, along with a new apprenticeship program, will fill open jobs and lead to help all across the board. City records backing those staffing shortages. We combed through 311 records and found many animal control requests are still open. The director of ACS explained that some of those cases either had an officer sent out and the open investigation is underway. Others have been dispatched to officers who have not yet made it out to the location. To check it out for yourself, head to News4SA.com.
What it all comes down to, animal care officials don't have enough staff to thoroughly follow up with dangerous dog owners. But as Jordan Elder with the News4I team explains, there are limits to the consequences ACS can hand out to repeat offenders.
In the city of San Antonio, you can have a max of 5 dogs at a time. Now, that rule applies even if one or more of them is considered dangerous or is being investigated for a bite. ACS tells me they can't stop people from bringing more pets into those homes, but they can advocate for more staff and more money to complete inspections. These dogs on Depla Street were the subject of several reports to the city, sent in by neighbors who often saw the dogs break free of their gates. Belinda Rodriguez told us she called more than a dozen times.
I wish they would have taken us serious.
Animal care officers recently checked in with about 140 other owners across the city whose dogs have had 2 or more bite cases.
We have made location at every one of those homes to make sure that those animals aren't free of restraint, causing problems, as well as doing an activity search in that area.
We know that at least 5 criminal citations have been issued and at least 3 dangerous dog affidavits have been filed as a result. ACS Director Shannon Sims says the check-ins won't end here.
And we're actually proposing this being an ongoing project.
All dangerous dogs in San Antonio have to have an affidavit filed and a completed investigation. ACS says they're handling each case as it comes in, but they say the issue is with the follow-up.
If a dog is deemed dangerous, there are 10 requirements the owner needs to produce each year, and this takes a significant amount of time for an investigator to follow up.
For now, the department has reassigned 2 more people to help with this. In the long term, their strategic plan calls for more staffing. The city can issue citations for dog bites and not complying with dangerous dog laws, but they can't restrict these owners from getting more pets.
That would have to be something that would have to be taken up in state legislation, because right now the only way that we can prevent someone from owning an animal is if they were convicted of cruelty.
ACS and San Antonio police are also trying to make sure these dogs get their day in court. Officials say more docket times have been added to hold owners accountable. Reporting in the studio, I'm Jordan Elder, News 4 San Antonio.
Animal care officers are now issuing criminal citations to people who aren't complying with dangerous dog laws. ACS previously handed out civil citations to pet owners if the bite happens while their dog is not on a leash and not actually on the owner's property. The city is also considering a new program to look into what are considered nuisance properties where several complaints have been made about pet owners and their dogs. Also outlined in the memo, a dog deemed dangerous will require an annual inspection to make sure the owner are meeting any state law requirements like confinement. Of course, these are only some of the changes now being looked at.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, today we are continuing our coverage of the dangerous dog problem here in San Antonio, dedicating a 30-minute show to getting answers for you.
Yeah, we wanted to find out if there are any ways to prevent dogs from becoming dangerous and aggressive. News 4 San Antonio's Chelsea Torres looks into dog aggression and what you need to know.
After speaking to a dog expert, we learned that there's important cues and characteristics to look out for if your dog or one you know is becoming aggressive.
But the majority of the time, there's going to be warning signs.
Dog obedience expert Dakota Riddle says dogs will show behavior issues before a situation becomes serious.
It's up to us to step in at that time and start trying to fix those issues.
What should you look for in an aggressive dog? Riddle says aggression is typically based off fear. A small sign could be licking lips. The dog may cower near you, have a rigid, stiff body, or begin barking and lunging.
Getting him in a kennel, getting him in a safe spot, making sure they're secured whenever you aren't at home or whenever you're having guests over.
He says the majority of incidents happen at home, but if the situation escalates, what can be done?
The last thing that we want to do is start reacting whenever the dog's coming towards us.
In other words, don't panic.
Make yourself look big, raise your voice. If you can get something in between you and the dog, that would definitely help out.
Riddle advises doing your research before you get a dog and not ignoring early signs of aggression. Chelsea Torres, News 4 San Antonio.
I'm Melissa Vega. A third person was arrested following last month's deadly dog attack on the west side. A relative of the dog owners is accused of threatening neighbors who spoke to police and the media. Destiny Marie Cardona was arrested for allegedly making death threats to one of the neighbors. Cardona is the sister of Abilene Schneider, who co-owned the dogs involved in the attack. She is now facing retaliation charges. State Senator Jose Menendez has proposed legislation that would make reports for these situations more private to prevent retaliation.
This particular case, people have received threats from the people involved. And so we don't want people to not report because they fear for their lives.
If anyone is a victim of a dog attack, they are urged to follow through with an affidavit so there can be a proper investigation. And we asked for your thoughts on the dangerous dog debate, and we have received hundreds of comments on our social media channels. Rocky chimed in on our Facebook page saying animals aren't the problem. The people that use and abuse them and teach them to be mean are the problem. Until these people are dealt with in a meaningful manner with a severe penalties, then the problem will continue to exist. Christina added in part, dogs need to be kept inside fences or homes. Animal control needs to answer for inaction as well. And Meredith offered this suggestion: until this happens on a regular basis, people will continue to be irresponsible dog owners. Anytime anything even remotely irresponsible happens, charge the owners. She adds, maybe people will think more about owning dogs they don't take care of. And we appreciate your comments, and you can continue with the discussion on the News 4 San Antonio Facebook and Twitter pages. And do you think enough is being done to keep your family safe from dangerous dogs? Keep the conversation going on our Facebook page. Just search News 4 SA and tell us the next major issue you would like us to look into next. Yeah, definitely a lot of comments coming in.
It's been eye-opening to see how many people deal with this, right?
Absolutely.
Whether it's the community being impacted or dog owners who are not taking care of their pets.
And neighbors as well chiming in.
All over the city as well, not one particular spot. So we'd love to hear what next issue you'd like for us to cover, and we'll be all over it.
Definitely.